The grand oak doors of Hawthorne Manor swung open with a reluctant creak, admitting Sophia Harrington's unassuming Honda Civic into the circular driveway lined with gleaming luxury cars, a Porsche Panamera, a sleek Mercedes S-Class, the kind that screamed old money. She could have rolled up in a chauffeured Rolls-Royce. But tonight wasn't about flash. It was about the sting of their assumptions, the quiet burn of years spent in the shadows of their disdain. Sophia stepped out, her off-the-rack blazer and sensible loafers crunching on the gravel, drawing a skeptical glance from the new valet. "Evening, miss. You at the Harrington party?" His tone dripped with polite doubt, eyes flicking over her no-name watch. "I am a Harrington," she replied softly, handing over the keys without meeting his gaze. The flush on his face was almost satisfying, but she saved her energy for what waited inside. 3 years. That's how long she'd been absent from these annual gatherings at the family estate in the Hudson Valley. A ritual as rigid as the stock market's opening bell. The Harringtons had built their fortune in real estate development back in the Gilded Age, and every fall, they convened to toast their empire, swap tales of multi-million-dollar deals, and subtly, or not so subtly, reaffirm who held the reins. Sophia parked between her brother Lucas's fresh-off-the-lot Lamborghini and her sister Brooke's custom Range Rover. They'd arrived early, no doubt, polishing their egos over pre-dinner martinis. As she approached the massive front doors, flanked by stone lions that seemed to judge her every step, the familiar knot tightened in her stomach, the residue of betrayals that had festered like untreated wounds. Inside, the foyer gleamed under a massive crystal chandelier, unchanged since her childhood. The portrait of great-grandfather Elias Harrington loomed above, his stern gaze appraising all who entered, as if tallying their net worth. Laughter echoed from the drawing room, Brooke's sharp cackle, Lucas's thunderous guffaw. Then, her mother's voice, laced with feigned warmth. "Sophia, darling, we weren't sure you'd make it." Evelyn Harrington stood there in a designer gown that cost more than most people's mortgages, a flute of Veuve Clicquot in hand. "I confirmed last week, Mother." Evelyn air-kissed her cheek, careful not to disturb her flawless makeup. "Traffic can be so unpredictable, dear." The drawing room hushed as Sophia entered. Lucas sprawled by the roaring fireplace, his once athletic frame now padded by years of corporate excess. His wife, Vanessa, clutched her Hermes clutch like armor. Brooke sat primly on the velvet settee, her venture capitalist husband, Derek, hovering protectively, the picture of polished success. "Well, look who's graced us with her presence," Lucas drawled, swirling his scotch. "The wandering sheep returns." Sophia accepted a glass of sparkling water from a passing server, bypassing the champagne. "Hello, Lucas, Brooke, Derek." Brooke's eyes raked over her like a credit check, noting the thrift store blouse, the absence of diamonds. "You look relaxed, soft. Freelancing must give you plenty of downtime." "Something like that." The doors to the dining room swung open, and there stood Victor Harrington, patriarch at 70, still commanding like a boardroom tyrant. His eyes met hers, flickers of old regrets, quickly masked. "Now that everyone's here, let's eat." The table was set for 10, with Sophia relegated to the end. A not-so-subtle demotion in the Harrington hierarchy. As she traced the edge of the antique walnut table, memories flooded back, whispered insults disguised as advice, judgments veiled as concern. They had no clue that in mere hours, this table and everything it represented would be hers. The torment started with the salad course, forks clinking like tiny accusations. "Is that a knockoff handbag?" Brooke's voice carried across the table, sweet as poison. "Haven't seen one like that since the recession." Sophia set her fork down deliberately. It's practical. Oh, absolutely, Brooke cooed, fingering her own Chanel. Not everyone can afford the real thing. How thrifty of you. Lucas chuckled into his wine. Remember when Soph used to preach about living within your means? What was that saying? Money shouts. Wealth whispers. Derek chimed in, adjusting his Rolex. Though for a consultant, even whispering might be a stretch. Laughter rippled around the table. Evelyn dabbed her lips with a napkin, hiding a smile. Victor ate on, impassive. Speaking of your gig, Brooke leaned in, eyes gleaming with mock curiosity. How's that little side hustle going? Some kind of advisory service. It's a venture capital firm, Sophia said evenly. Ambitious, Vanessa piped up. Her first words of the night. Lucas was just saying how cutthroat that world is without the right network or capital. You're so courageous, or is it stubborn? Or broke, Lucas muttered. Not quite low enough. The entree arrived, filet mignon. Rare and bloody, mirroring the undercurrents. Servers glided by, avoiding Sophia's gaze as if failure were catching. You know, Brooke sliced into her steak. Derek and I are eyeing investment condos in the city. There's this affordable complex in Queens perfect for renters like you. I could hook you up. I'm good. Thanks. Still in that walk-up in Brooklyn? Lucas prodded. The one over the bodega? Dry cleaners, she corrected. Right. Saves on cab fare. I guess. Victor finally spoke. His voice slicing the chatter. Harrington Holdings had a banner quarter. Expanded to 4 new markets. Portfolio up 45%. 47%, Lucas boasted. The Dubai project alone netted 20 mil. Brooke pivoted seamlessly. Soph. Are you seeing anyone? It must be tough balancing. Whatever you're doing. Not up for discussion. Don't be touchy. We're family. Evelyn joined in. Remember that nice guy from the yacht club? His family's in pharmaceuticals. Still single. He's 48 and twice divorced. Well, at your age. Without stability. Expectations shift. Dear. Not everyone lands a mogul. The barbs continued through dessert prep, jabs at her shoes, Target chic. Her bare fingers, minimalism's trendy. Right? Offers of hand-me-downs, I have last season's dresses heading to Goodwill. Each one landed like a paper cut, accumulating into a deep ache. Lucas, emboldened by bourbon, delivered the knockout. The saddest part? She thought she was above us with her ethics crap. Look where it got her, mid-30s. Single. Scraping by. But hey, principals pay the rent. Right? The table erupted. Even the staff smirked. Sophia sat still, absorbing it all. The final proof of their rot. Bill's here, Victor announced, reaching for his black Amex with habitual arrogance. Sophia's voice cut through, I'll cover it. Silence crashed like a market drop. Lucas sparked a laugh. You? This tab's 5 figures. Sis. Not your corner diner. I'm aware. She pulled a matte black card from her mocked purse, no logo. Just quiet power. Charged to the owner's tab. Laughter exploded again. Owner's tab? Hilarious. Pretending to own Hawthorne. Evelyn snapped. This isn't funny. Sophia. You're humiliating yourself. Derek smirked. Maybe a breakdown. Runs in the family. But Sophia watched the server examine the card. Recognition dawning. I'll verify with management. Ask for Mr. Reynolds. Tell him Harrington's settling up. The room mocked on the tab? As if. Until the service door burst open. Mr. Reynolds, the estate manager of 25 years, strode in. Eyes on Sophia. MS. Harrington. Apologies for the mix-up. We'll comp to your account. Anything else? The air thickened with confusion. Actually, Yes. Sophia pulled her phone. Opening an email. Brooke. Since you're into real estate, check this. Brooke's face strained as she read, confidential transfer, Hawthorne Manor to Apex Ventures LLC. Impossible. Closed last month, Sophia said casually. Reynolds has smoothed the handover. An honor. MS. Harrington. The staff appreciates the raises and benefits. Victor's Amex clattered to his plate. Lies. Sophia passed the phone. Deed on page 10. Holdings on 15. Lucas scrolled. Horror mounting. She owns the Harrington Tower. RHQ. Technically. Apex owns it, Sophia corrected. But I'm sole owner. So, how? Brooke whispered. By excelling at what I do, building the top VC firm in the Northeast. She stood. Reynolds pulled her chair. 3 years building Apex while you ridiculed my gig. While you mocked my Brooklyn flat. I secured institutional funding. While you sneered at my bag. I snapped up undervalued assets. She circled the table. Stopping behind Victor. Remember telling me I'd fail without the family name? I used it, told investors I walked from corruption at Harrington Holdings. That pitch landed my first $60 million. Lucas jumped up. We'd have heard. Not in New York circles. Started in Hong Kong. Then London. Kept US. Buys quiet. She showed another file. Own your data center building. Your private bank branch. You're my tenants for now. Leases renew soon. With hikes on ownership change. Why? Evelyn stood. Voice cracking. Your own blood. The blood that shredded me for sport? That picked profit over principles. Sophia turned to the window. Overlooking the manicured lawns. But it's business. Not spite. I studied you, your debts. Your flaws. Brooke. Your VC funds overleveraged, one default. Gone. Lucas. Your Dubai mess from skimping on ethics. Victor. The board's eyeing your ouster. How? Derek demanded. Information's power and I'm loaded. She smiled. Rich enough to buy your debts. Bail your flops. Control Harrington if I chose. Then why not? Victor rasped. To show you real power, quiet. Purposeful. Without cruelty. Her phone rang. Yes? The $4.2 billion transfer cleared? Great. Zurich Monday. She hung, buying a European fintech. Total value, $15 billion. Strategic play. You're the richest here, Brooke murmured. By magnitudes. But my flat? Kept it as a reminder. Clothes? Comfort over show. The room reeled. Now. The family trust from the bank I own. Clause allows freezes for ethics breaches. Sign new terms. Board seats at my Sophia Harrington Institute for Economic Equity. Volunteer hours at shelters. Ethics training. Force charity? Brooke scoffed. Force perspective. See the struggle you ignore. Refuse? Lucas asked. 6 months till bankruptcy. For your finances. Phone on speaker, MS. Harrington. Zurich board loves your microlending push for underserved communities. Signing advanced? Yes. She hung. Wealth creates access for millions. Harrington could join or fade. Victor scrolled her financials. Oh, replacing doubt. You built this empire. While you hid that ethics scandal, cost you $50 million in fines. You were right. He signed first. Evelyn following shakily. One by one. They capitulated, Brooke tearfully. Derek defeated. Vanessa defiantly, I'm done with the poison. Lucas last. Bitter, you've won. No, potential redeemed. She gathered papers. Institute's first meeting, Bronx Community Center. 7 a.m. Friday. Dress down, we're serving breakfast. Victor rose. Why the facade? To see your true colors without power's mask. Worth saving? We'll see in a year. She exited. Coat in hand. Tipping Reynolds generously, Bonuses for staff, 6 months' pay. Convert East Wing to Institute offices. Driving away in her Civic. The estate's lights faded. She'd exposed the rot. Forced the reckoning. Revenge? No, the cost of choices. Paid in full. Forging something enduring from the ashes of betrayal.